Hey AfterBuzzers, we're talking the Pretty Little Liars series finale. So much to talk about, AD is finally revealed. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Got a secret, can you keep it? Swear this one you'll say. Better lock it in your pocket, taking this one to the grave. And to show you that I know you won't tell what I said. 'Cause two can keep a secret if one of them is dead.
Oh God, I know. It's amazing that that was our last time doing our little dance of Pretty Little Liars there, but welcome to our Pretty Little Liars season finale, series finale show. Farewell, our lovelies. Of course, this is season 7, episode 20. There is so much to get into. Of course, this is going to be a spoiler-filled episode, so if you haven't somehow watched the season finale, get on it. Get on it, watch it, come back to us, watch us. But let's introduce ourselves first. I'm Stephanie Wenger, and you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and all over the internet at Stephanie Wenger.
Hey guys, I'm Kristin Strange. You can find me everywhere at Kristin_Strange, and I provided this champagne for tonight to toast.
And everyone is of legal age.
Everyone here is of legal age, and I'm just going to go ahead and pop this before Dakota does his introduction.
Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot.
Just
Give him
a little pour over here.
That's good. Thank you.
I'm just going to fill you up to the top.
Yeah, fill me up hard. Whoa, sorry.
It was a big episode, Dakota.
It was a big episode. But you guys can find me everywhere at Mr. Dakota T. Jones.
And you guys can find me, Sam Davidson, at SamD43, and on Twitter and Instagram at that name. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. I'm in bliss.
All right, so, and Becca, we have Becca on the chat tonight.
Oh.
Yes. Hi, I'm Becca Brown.
And also, my dog, at LCNLA on Instagram,
She has
is
an Instagram?
wandering around the studio.
Yeah.
She does have an Instagram, and she posts really cute pictures all by herself.
Oh, wow.
Just wanted to let you guys know.
Those opposable thumbs.
That's what you should all look for, is an Instagram dog. So let's jump into this episode and talk about what we've all been waiting for this season. And I feel like I have to give props to our panel, because we've been chatting about this all season.
Particularly Sam, who initially brought it up, and we were all like, yes.
We jumped on board for sure, but Sam, you nailed this. Of course, the big reveal was, of course, that Alex Drake, Spencer's twin, has been tormenting these girls. She is, in fact, AD.
AD, it makes sense.
And you
Alex
guys
Drake.
all thought that we were crazy for the past,
Everyone's like, I
6
hate
weeks.
them.
You guys were like, I don't, stop with the twin theory, stop it. It's real, people. This is the
Boom.
thing.
And I think it became more and more clear if you actually look back at the episodes. In the last few episodes, it became more and more clear. And then, of course,
And
tonight.
we called it, every single episode. That I think you called the first initial ones, and then we started to catch on, the ones where it wasn't Spencer and it was actually her twin.
You guys, you have no idea how satisfied I feel.
I know.
I really felt
Sam.
like I was up on a ledge for a while, and then I was like, well, I can't backtrack from this. There's no way down, so I'm either going to fall or I'm going to win.
The feeling you feel is fulfilled.
Yes.
Fulfillment.
That's how we feel about Pretty Little Liars, fulfilled.
I mean, yeah, this episode was extremely fulfilling. It was what I wanted. I've been covering the show since season 3. It certainly was fulfilling for me after all this time. But let's get some initial reactions of the AD reveal and the episode overall. Kristin?
I thought it was interesting that we started a year forward, because I was like, wait, did I miss something? But I get why it happened, because the game ended, and then, we kind of went forward.
Yeah.
And they thought AD was gone, and then she came back. So I guess it made sense in the end. But I was happy to see them a year forward in their lives and to see how it's changed, like Caleb and Hannah's relationship and everything that's happened in their relationship, and how Arya and Ezra were finally getting married and their book was becoming a movie, and just everybody's lives, Spencer was really in the same place.
Yeah. Quick shout out to where it was all being filmed, Becca and you, Dakota, we were all there.
Yes.
We got to kind of see where they were at on the Warner Brothers lot when they were shooting their movie, so that was cool.
That was cool to see, like, the little tower in the background. I was like, they're at Warner Brothers because that's where they shoot the show. But then they kind of gave.
So they just shot like literally in the like alleys of the studio.
Well,
Yeah.
not only that, but
Yeah.
like the building in the background was actually like one of the big scenes. You remember the big museum that like had like those huge photos of them like laying on like operating tables like passed out. That the thing in the background was the big museum that had the art exhibit. So it was funny because I'm like, well, you used that like in the actual show multiple times.
There were a lot of like little fan shout outs, I feel like, in this. Marlene King, of course, was the photographer at the end in Aria and
was
Ezra's
great.
wedding. Like, there was a lot of fun throws. If you're a big fan of the show, you would recognize. Becca, any initial thoughts?
Even some of the songs were like throwbacks, like suggestions.
Yeah.
I remember I
song
pointed that
suggestions
out.
was-
Yeah.
The song that played at the end of the first episode was played when they all got the first text.
Yeah.
That was played at some point during this episode.
And at the very end of the episode, when we're all watching Aria and Ezra's wedding, Hannah turns to Emily and goes, "You need a tissue?" And she goes, "Oh, no, I don't need one." She goes, "You do today."
Yeah.
And in the first episode, she hands her a flask, and she goes, "No, I don't
drink."
need it."
Yeah.
She goes, "You do today."
Yep.
Like, it was just so...
There was so many little Easter
Yeah.
eggs planted through it, and it was so great and so well thought out. I did feel like I thought it was like the end, and then it wasn't, and then it was the end, and then it wasn't, and there had like three
Yeah.
separate kind of
It's
endings.
like the end and then but it's also like a beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you think they're really going to go forward with anything
Not
else?
with these girls. I
No.
think that personally in their careers they're done. You know, they're all in places where they're doing movies.
I
and
mean, we'll
everything.
talk about this in a little bit, but Lucy Hale, of course, has a CW show coming out.
Right.
Troyan's going into directing and creating content.
Yeah, she's killing
And she
it.
has feed.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, these girls are moving on and looks like they're starting a whole new path in their careers, which is awesome. But yeah, I think these girls, minus potentially Mona, she may still, Janelle may be interested in doing something, but I think they're going to have to get a new set of girls for the most part.
Or like the young girls.
well, yeah, at the
exactly.
End, yeah.
I wouldn't watch that show,
No,
though.
I wouldn't either. I was,
It would feel too much like a replay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to.
that last scene felt too much like a replay.
and it
little
was.
bit.
I kind of liked that it kind of ended in the same way.
I mean, it's a full circle moment.
Right,
That's
exactly.
what they were going for sure.
And I like that in my television, but I don't want to see more of them.
No,
I'm good.
They could have kind of done without that little ending because I think
Yeah.
it would have been really strong if they would have ended it like with the
with the
whole
5
Mona thing.
girls.
And the like son, the like
the
what?
church.
Yeah,
It was
I
like a raggedy like.
Yeah.
There were definitely
Zig-
like
zigzag.
3 to 4 cuts at the end of that episode where I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, is this the end?" Nope. Okay,
Yeah.
we're going forward.
We'll keep going.
Which like I loved in some ways, and it's always nice to get more story. And in other ways, I thought there were moments where I was like, I would be happy right here, ending
Yeah.
it right now. But let's talk a little bit more about this AD reveal. We've waited so long for it.
Gosh, I know.
So I want to know what you thought about specifically Toby and Spencer. So this is like the relationship that so many fans have shipped for a long time. They're a pretty popular couple on the
Yes,
show.
definitely.
And
I personally liked how they ended it, that they didn't end it like, oh, me and Toby are moving in together or something big like that. I like how they ended it like, oh, Toby's staying in town for a job. Maybe something will happen. I liked that they ended a one couple like that because you have all of them kind of like finalized, you know. Ezra and Aria got married. Caleb and Hannah are married and now pregnant. And, you know, Emily and Allie have their 2 babies and they're engaged now. So
Yeah.
it's like they're all like finalized. You know what's going to happen. So I like that one couple was left to be like, we'll see. Like maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
But Spoby
Well-
was such a big fan favorite that it was kind of crazy that they.
But they were
left it off.
all.
But
And-
guys, what I will say about Spoby that people aren't saying, usually in movies and TV shows where it's like they know right away when they kiss that person, that's not them. That's
He
their
should've
evil
known.
twin. He has hooked up with her at least twice. Twice, I think. And he's
Yeah.
just chill. You know, he even said at one point, which is why I thought in the last couple episodes, that Toby knew it wasn't Spencer because he goes, "This isn't like you."
well, this is what I
think he
found
was
a
grieving.
little bizarre about it was, okay, you've hooked up with her twice, and then you have this big dramatic moment where you're holding a gun up to essentially what
Two
could-
Spencers.
to like 2 Spencers, to what could be the love of your life, and then to Alex. And it took him realizing, he realized it because he clearly, like, grabbed Alex to arrest her. But then he, like, it took him realizing through a poem in a book. And I thought that was so bizarre that, like, it was.
But that's so very Spencer.
It was.
It
You
is.
know, like, to be like, what's your favorite poem out of this random book? Because only she would know that. I
Exactly.
No,
guarantee
but
you.
it wasn't Spencer that knew that, I thought.
No,
It-
it
No,
was.
it was Spencer.
It
was the right one.
Yeah.
Oh, God, it just got so back and forth.
I don't even think her friends would know it.
No.
Yeah,
And
when they were fighting, we kept being like, wait, which one's Spencer?
I know, and whenever Toby like went to like the wrong one and like embraced her and then like grabbed her, I was like, thank God, because I was like, that's the wrong one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was so cool because like only Spencer would know that poem, and it was just great to see that she kind of he came around and was like, okay, I know who's who type of a thing.
Yeah.
What I will say about Spencer and Toby is that Troyan and Keegan are very good at those sex scenes together. And also, I'm not sure if anyone watched
Becca.
last week, but there was an interview in which Sasha and Marlene were talking at, I don't know where, I think E.T.
Mhm.
And Sasha was saying that the person who was AD found out from Marlene before anyone else.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I
Yeah.
didn't connect the dots earlier, but in other in previous
Spencer
interviews,
found out
Troyan was like,
first, yeah.
one night on set, me and Keegan tried to convince Marlene to tell
Yeah.
us who AD was, and she told us the whole point.
I saw that interview
Wow.
as well. Yeah, it was interesting. I think Troyan deserves a lot of credit in this episode.
Yeah.
To be what she did to play against herself, which is what she was doing a lot of the time in this, and with the British accent and being able to do all of that. Obviously, special effects involved.
Yeah.
But like amazing and.
Well, she's really done a lot, I think, even for the whole series. Like, I've always felt like she was one of the strongest actors in
Yeah.
the whole
Well,
series.
I just want to
Hands
give
down.
out a
and
shout
she
out to her.
directed.
She went to the same college as I. She went to USC. She was a year older than me, but
Yeah.
I was
Were you guys
she was
best
a
friends?
Go Turtles.
no, she was a BFA and I was a BA, but there was like maybe 18 to 20 BFAs every year in theater. And I mean, she was insanely talented. And I think automatically when people see a character they've known, an actress they've known for a long time, talk with an accent, they want to say it's bad.
But it was great.
But it wasn't bad. And I know, I've seen some reaction goes, oh, that was terrible. It's offensive. No. She's great. She's extremely well trained. Trust me,
Yeah.
I've seen her in theater all through college. She's amazing.
I think out of all the girls, like, I've always felt, not that any of them are bad, but that just she's the, you can tell that she's the most,
Right.
like, in her character, and you can tell that she's got
And
a really great training.
Because of that, I feel like Marlene has really given her a lot in the
Yeah.
storyline. Like I remember
Because it's
she
not
said
like
that she
Spencer was anything in the books.
Right. She
close to
said
what
that
she's
she was
become.
like a little bit like I guess maybe bored with the routine of things. So
Yeah.
Marlene allowed her to like go crazy and go to Radley for a while.
Yeah.
And then Marlene was like, you can handle being AD. Like
Yeah.
she knew going into this girl is a great actress. She can really handle all this. And the way she executes it, the way she like her body language is different.
Yeah.
She would like squat on the chair and like have her legs up and like have this accent
I
and
mean,
like
yeah.
the whole episode. she was just
anti-Spencer.
Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, she went through the details of that character to build something different, and that's why this panel was able to pick up on it early on because
we know her. We've
Props,
watched her for so
props
long.
to Sam for being
Yeah.
able to notice those character differences that Troyan was doing episodes before this one. It wasn't like she suddenly became a different character. She clearly played it two different ways.
Yeah, I apologize to say.
And let's see, Julie Colliard in the chat said Troyan is the only one that could have pulled off the twin.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I think it might be
I-
true.
I
I
wanna-
think Janelle could have as well, maybe.
Yeah, I think she could have too.
Janelle is good.
I want to give a shout out to Darren Chan on Twitter. He always tweets us with like his theories and everything, and this is the last episode, so I want to give you a shout out, Darren. Thank you for always
Aw.
tweeting us every week, all the time, everything you're
Yeah,
thinking.
I
We
mean-
appreciate all of you guys.
Yeah, all of our fans on Twitter, and we love your theories, and you've been such a big part of this show for 7 seasons, and so we can't thank you enough for...
You've made it so much more fun to like think about what
Yeah.
could possibly
Oh, God.
happen.
It seems like our mics may have just gone out. I don't know if that's...
Everyone's.
Everyone's.
Everyone's?
Hopefully you can hear us. So.
So,
Can they hear yours?
can you hear us? What? Okay,
there it
great.
is.
Sorry,
Plug this back in.
little technical,
I fixed it, you guys. Don't worry.
little technical difficulty there. So let's talk about them being in the prison, and then we're gonna move on to the rest of the couples here very quickly. But this kind of Spencer being drugged, and as well as Ezra. And they're left kind of, you don't know what's gonna happen. Are they gonna survive? And I felt like one of them could actually die in this.
I thought it was gonna be Ezra.
Oh
for
my god, I
sure.
was so worried. And I wore my Team Ezria shirt today, and Stephanie brought hers, but she didn't wear it.
I was doing notes for our show so we can be prepared. It's a whole thing.
It's a thought that counts.
No, but I really honestly thought that Ezra was gonna die because
I did too.
everyone's always anticipated, like, oh my gosh, in the finale, one of the big characters is gonna die. No one died.
Yes.
It was great. Who died?
Ren died.
Well, okay, but he wasn't one of the mains. He hasn't been here for seasons, so he doesn't count.
He wasn't main in season 1. If you go back and watch season 1.
Yeah.
Well, that was a long,
That was
long
a
time
long
ago.
time
I
ago.
like that he was the father of the kids, because you know
Oh
they're
my
going to be
gosh.
beautiful.
I
Yeah.
know, but then no one talked about it. Nobody
did.
talked about
I
it.
thought it was weird that no one said anything like that. There was
never
no
found out.
revelation with Allie and Emily.
Alex said, I knew Ren would make beautiful babies.
Right,
But
then
only
she
to the
said that
baby.
To the baby, privately. None of the other girls knew, so they're gonna
Like a
grow up not
9-month-old
knowing.
baby.
But I
who
like
dad
that.
is.
know.
I kind of like that.
Well, I think that this episode there were so many big reveals that
There wasn't time.
That was like, if there were more time in the episode, you might be able to have a whole section about like, oh, that's the baby daddy. But at this point, you gotta kind of move on to what the fans have been waiting for,
Right.
which is certainly the AD
And I
reveal.
think it's probably better for Allie and Emily because now they don't have to like, you know,
Think about it.
they don't have to think about it. They're just like, we made these beautiful kids. It doesn't matter who was their sperm donor. Essentially, we're
Yeah.
gonna raise
I
them
mean,
the way we
those
want to.
kids are gonna grow up thinking, or those. I
Being
mean, they're gonna
loved,
grow.
yeah.
They're gonna grow up thinking that like Archer was probably most likely their dad.
Yeah.
So like
But
Ren
I don't
being
think
their
that
dad is
they'll
not.
even mention it. I think they'll be like, "We're your parents. It doesn't matter who came to create you." You know.
Well, let's back up. I'm just gonna scooch forward from that comment and move on and say.
I didn't mean it that way. I'm taking it the wrong way.
So I thought that another big surprise in the episode was that Allison and Emily, of course, they become engaged, which like I wasn't
Yeah, that was
expecting
cute.
another
Freaked out.
proposal in this episode.
And I like that it happened in a pug sweater.
I know, but it almost sounded. It almost felt like that. Like her mom Pam was keeping something from her. Like her mom was gonna pass
I
away.
thought she
or
was
Then
gonna
she was
die
sick.
too. Yeah, I thought she was gonna die.
So, and then
was
she was
baby.
like, I just want to let you know you'll always have family. And it's like, okay, like that part was a little random.
Well, especially and the part where she gives her the ring, and you're just thinking, and she goes, "I don't like hiding things from Emily." Then why are you? Just get the ring. Just get the ring and do it.
Yeah, and not only that, but like she never even said like, will you marry me?
Yeah.
She just
But
said,
I did
will
think it
you-
was great that Allie was the one to propose because
too.
Emily was always the one that was kind of like interested, you know, and Allie was always the one that was like, no. And now she's the one that to be like, I want to spend my life with you.
Well, Allie figured out her feelings.
I know, thankfully.
Yeah,
Finally.
I think that like this is something that I've certainly been waiting for with this couple. It finally feels like they're in a stable place. For a long time, it was up and down, up and
Yeah.
down, up and down.
They have their babies.
And they have their babies, twins.
Cute.
Twins run in the family.
Oh my gosh! Can we just talk about how there's 3 sets of twins?
Yeah.
There's there's Jessica De Laurentiis and Mary
Mary
Drake.
Drake.
There's the 2 twins that
Well, with
that
in
Allie
vitro,
and Emily
which
had.
is essentially what they did in vitro, it's pretty common to have multiples, especially given that she's so young.
Yeah.
Like, if you're inseminated, which is what she was, like, it's so likely to have multiples. Yeah, that's why a lot of times you'll see older women with multiples because they've done in vitro to get, like, triplets.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how many you're going to take, and if you put in 6, you know, 1 might take, 0 might take, or 3 might take.
Right.
That's crazy.
But
And then the other twins is obviously
Natural,
Spencer
yeah.
and Alex.
That's genetic.
yeah, I just find it really interesting though that so they have these babies and they seem like very happy. They left them in a really sweet place, which I.
One thing though, okay, sorry, but the only reason I'm also saying this is because I feel like if there's any potential spin-off with any of the remaining characters, it's Allison and Emily.
I would love that.
I mean, that would be an amazing.
I think they'd be
about.
part of it, but I think that Allison got so riled up by that little girl at school. and she said to Emily, essentially, we know someone that could like kill her.
Yeah. 'Cause I'm
I
sure
feel
we
like
know
that was a
someone who knows
joke,
someone.
though.
I do too, but I was a little bit
Grab
worried.
your arm, though.
Yeah, I was a little worried. I was like, Allie still has some darkness inside of her. She needs
But
to work
I
out.
do also feel like she probably recognizes a lot in Addison of herself, what she used to be. So that's probably got to do with, she doesn't want Addison's life to turn out like her life did. She shouldn't have to go through all that crap.
Right.
that
If
Allie
anything,
went
I
through.
could see a spin-off being of, like Allie and Emily, and then dealing with those young kids, too, are going to somehow be involved.
And
maybe
like
they're
being
gonna
in their
help them.
20s,
Yeah.
and I would like that.
I think like if you can bring it back to Rosewood High and have
Yeah.
Allison be a teacher, and then these like that's a really interesting place to
Yeah.
be, and that's a series that I would definitely watch.
I feel like Shay and Sasha would do that. I feel like they would come back.
Yeah, I mean,
I would say
Becca's listening.
Sasha, maybe not. Maybe I don't know about Shay.
It seems like she's trying to do movies.
I think Shay is trying to develop her YouTube channel currently
Yeah.
and be a YouTuber more than anything. I could see Troy and Janelle coming back out of it.
Really? Because I'm like,
I don't
Troy
think
seems
so.
like
I could
she's
no,
good.
I couldn't see Troy coming back, but I could see Janelle coming back, and I
Yeah.
could see Sasha coming back.
Yes.
Yeah,
Sasha,
I
yeah.
think if they could make a deal where it was mostly with Allison and then Emily
Was
wa-
like in and out.
in and out.
She's a traveling swimming coach or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like she
Oh,
might
yeah.
be she might be willing to do
Yeah.
that. I don't know. I mean,
Like
I'm
guest appearances.
I'm really interested to see if and when they do that.
I have one thing. The one question for me that was not answered was the fact that, not Janelle. Mona accidentally pushed Charlotte up against the wall and she died on the floor. But who the heck pushed her off the balcony? Because if she's dead, Janelle,
Yeah.
like Mona did not push her off
that's
the
one
balcony.
that-
Go.
No, go ahead. Go.
In the ET thing last week, someone asked that, and Marlene said that Mona did.
So
Oh.
Mona just like after she done it, she was like, well,
Yeah.
a little pusheroo.
I guess
I was
that's
thinking
the
too.
assumption that we're gonna have to go with.
We'll go with that since it's over.
I guess it doesn't really matter who pushed her off. Mona
mean-
killed her.
Right. So I want to move on to Arya and Ezra. This was something that I've been waiting for since I started watching
We've
the
both
show.
been waiting for this.
We are so excited. You guys have no idea. It made me so happy to see them finally got married. It felt like a friend getting married. Which
You
is-
guys, I'm not gonna lie, I started to cry like a little bit 3 times during this episode.
and
and the last time was during their wedding.
And I knew it was going to happen. Like, I could feel it from the beginning of the episode when they're all sitting together. By the way, their rehearsal dinner or that night before, bachelorette party, whatever you want to call it, was just one of the sweetest moments, I feel like, on Pretty Little Liars. It didn't even feel like Pretty Little Liars. It felt so happy and, like,
Yeah.
joyful.
It was like the Christmas episode.
Except
do you
it was a
remember?
little different that like I don't know why they decided to make like Hannah and Caleb like a little bit like uneasy about their marriage. I was like, why would you
I
do
think
that
it
on the
was
last
just.
episode?
I think it was to push Hannah towards being like, you're right. We need to push Mona out a little bit more. She was she was letting Mona be dependent on her, and it was just to make it so she wasn't.
That's true, but I was just like, come on, everybody's happy. Let's get on the
Yeah.
bandwagon here. Like we don't have time to be upset.
Right. But then Ezra...
But that was real too. Sorry.
But Ezra being upset, too.
yeah.
And because he feels like
Arya.
Arya wasn't being as upfront as she could be about having not being able to have a child, I should say. And that was a moment where I was like, are they really going to split them up here? And I just hoped that wasn't the plan. I feel like
And that's
so many fans
that would be so out of character for Ezra to be like, oh, you can't have kids? Okay. never
I'm
mind."
out.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was about actually not being able to have a child. It was about
Just the
her
lie.
The lie.
Her line, because
Yeah.
you want as like a couple getting married, you want to be able to go together to the
Trust.
clinic to have this going on, like to be there for each other, to be like, okay, we're not able to have kids, okay, I'll be there for you. But the fact that she went behind her back and was all secretive about it made it so.
But she was probably so scared to
I
be
get
like,
that, but she's
she doesn't
always
know
so
what's
scared.
happening, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's like a super personal thing for a girl. Like, if you realize you're not able to have kids, like, I feel like I could get her, I would understand her
No.
wanting to figure out alone.
I feel like
Not when you have a fiance.
Yeah, but you guys are in it together. It's in it to win it. Arya's too girly, like let's hold secrets. No, like share with
Girly,
your
girly,
fiance.
let's hold secrets.
Yeah, like, I'm like, come on,
The only
you guys.
boy.
I get it. Though.
Yeah.
I get it.
Good lord.
There's certain things, no matter how far you are along in a relationship, like you need to do yourself.
I think ideally you want to be able to share that,
Yeah.
but I can understand from her perspective she's been through so much that maybe this
Yeah.
is just one more thing on the plate.
It's like she's always gonna have been through so much. It's like, come on, just be honest.
Right. I honesty is the best policy, 100%.
Definitely.
But what did you think about him being held captive? We said we thought he might die. He didn't die. He gets out.
Thank God.
And then they have probably one of the sweetest wedding ceremonies I've seen on TV in a long time.
Sorry, before we get there, I just want to say something interesting that made me want, because Marlene King in all these interviews that we've been watching, listening to, and read, said, just watch the last 10 episodes that you'll figure it
you'll
out.
get it.
So when Alex was pretending to be Spencer, sleeping next to Arya, or just cuddled up next to her, and said, I think
so
you're my
creepy.
favorite. So I was
That was
thinking,
creepy.
you know how Sparia has been a
like,
thing for
touch
so
her.
long, and then
Yeah.
when they climbed, they were in the
Yeah.
hotel, was that Spencer? Was that Alex when they did that entire thing trying to get to Sarah Harvey's room in the beginning, right when the flashback, when we got the flash forward, I mean.
I think that was probably Spencer because I felt
I do
like in the
too.
flashback it showed like the few instances that, that Alex was Spencer. Because if Alex was always going around being
Yeah.
Spencer, she'd be like the next day, oh, that was fun last
And
night. What? I didn't go there. You know what I mean?
I
Like they
feel
had
like
to sprinkle
her-
it throughout.
Yeah, and I feel
Yeah.
like her being like, "Oh, you're gonna be my favorite," was more that she could tell that she was really vulnerable and that she was gonna need her, so she could have a special kind of bond with her.
Right.
That's a
Plus,
good point.
She's been the one kind of playing around with Arya. Arya kind of joined the dark side for a while. Of course, AD was making her puppet,
Yeah.
so that
Right.
was Alex creating stuff
Yeah,
for Arya.
and it was she was because I was thinking before tonight's episode. I was wondering if maybe AD was someone that was connected with Arya in some way because they did kind of let her off easy this episode or this season. Not really easy, but they let her get out of a lot of things by helping them. So I was like, well, maybe it's someone that was related to her or connected with her in some way that wanted to help her. But that might be where she had that connection.
Well, we talked about last week the possibility of it being Arya's brother.
Yeah.
Oh,
And,
that would have been crazy.
and yeah, I mean,
and people were
that-
saying it was Ezra.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Like, we did talk about who this could be, and then when we had, and this transitions us into Hannah and Caleb mentioned that he sold a program to Lucas, you start to wonder, are all the guys? And,
Yeah.
that was my, when I was watching, I was like, is it
Yeah.
going to be one of the guys?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
crazy. I was really sad, though, that we didn't really get any closure from Lucas.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
beginning was weird.
Yeah, and like the snow globe. is
Yeah,
always
a
being
lot of
sought
people want to
for.
talk about the beginning, and I feel like I can't talk about it until I rewatch it again.
It was. I think that was just Mona's imagination.
She was like,
land.
"Oh, did you hear that Mona's bags are selling for over $1,000?"
Yeah, it was. I don't know. I might be reading
It
too much
was-
into it. I wanted it to be
yeah.
symbolic of some sort.
Yeah. But it was like weird circus, like.
But what does that mean? That Lucas is the clown and Jenna was the what? The
Symbolism, you're right.
yeah, like there
Red
was
hair.
something into it, and we'll maybe do a Periscope in the future.
Sam will
so-
tweet you about
Yeah,
it. Don't
I'll
worry.
definitely do something about it.
The most confusing thing about that scene to me is just like it's supposed to be like winter, I guess, or something.
I
and
guess
the
because it
girls-
was a snow
The
globe.
girls are like out with
No
shorts
coats
and
on,
their,
yeah.
their iced
In
tea.
Pennsylvania.
Or
One
their
thing I-
iced coffees.
One thing I do want to talk about though is the fact that of course everyone's initial shock was like, "Oh my gosh, it's Melissa." Everyone was like, "It's
Yeah.
Melissa who's AD."
We
this
said
is
that.
Crazy.
Sam missed it.
I was like, "This cannot be Melissa." I was like, "I will be so upset." And then of course, we peel the Melissa mask off and it's Mona, and I'm like, "Wow, it's been Mona this whole time." But they
yeah.
really yanked our chain for a while there.
I
So
will
wait.
say that this was though I feel like the masks were kind of, I don't know, like that's kind of a cop out
Not
for them.
fair.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's like I want to make you keep guessing who this is, and nobody, no matter who you are, can make that
make
real
the-
life of a mask.
Yeah,
I
I'm
know.
like,
It's certainly a red herring.
Yeah.
I mean, that's for sure. That they wanted you to believe it was Melissa. she pulls off the mask. It's Mona.
And especially after we had just seen her reconnecting with Spencer.
But was that Melissa or was that Mona?
I feel like that was Melissa.
Yeah, that
she
was
had
Melissa.
she had her hood down. Like, how good can you put a mask on?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
it was Melissa's body. Right?
Certainly, but I just feel like that's a really Pretty Little Liars thing to do.
Yeah.
Like, they don't want, we didn't get that reveal till, I want to say, and correct
Halfway?
me if I'm wrong, Twitter, but I would say about 55.
50% in,
yeah. But on that, also, please rate, comment, let us know what you thought of the finale. We still love hearing from you. We're still big Pretty Little Liars fans, even though it is the finale tonight. I can't believe that it's ending, but please go on YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud, let us know. Of course, you can always find us on Twitter. Let us know what you thought of the Spencer twin reveal. It's big. I know you guys...
Did you believe us?
Yeah, I know.
Right?
We got it right, guys.
We had it here first.
It was, we're pretty proud of ourselves.
We were all high-fiving when it was revealed. We were like, yeah, guys, we got it.
We didn't want it to go the other way. We were like, oh no, we'll have to walk in there.
Right. The only question that I feel like was also not answered was the fact, how did Alex get all this money to be able to do all of this?
Cece's money.
Yeah, she had all of
from
Cece's
the
money. And
She
Parachute
let,
fund?
yeah.
And
Okay.
Cece had all of Allison's money.
Mm-hmm.
So they had all of the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what was interesting was Alex, it wasn't just that she wanted to get back at Spencer or whatever. I mean, she really took it to an obsessive level. I mean, that's where she was at.
Well, what I thought was kind of crazy, too, was I was like, wouldn't it be easier for you to, after Cece died, I know you had a great connection with her, try and reconnect with your twin sister and become a part of her family? Because had they known about you, they would have accepted you with open arms. But now you've tortured their daughter, so they're not really going to accept you happily, you know? It would have been so much easier to just be like, hey, I think we're related. I'm Mary Drake's daughter. Hey.
I think we were related.
Yeah.
Exactly like
Hi, how are ya?
How's it going?
Sure, 99%.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the logical way to go.
Yeah.
And what we've proven is Rosewood's
But-
not a,
And Cece filled her head with, you know, inaccuracies. I mean, the Hastings family is kind of messed up, but...
Well, I just want to give a shout out to the writers and the actors for that scene, that flashback scene between Cece and Alex, that we saw it through their eyes in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
They were just sitting, having drinks, saying a goodbye, and they were sad. And it was like, the Hastings are terrible people. You put yourself in their shoes, and you could think that same way. It's just the way, the perspective that the show is in. But they do have, I mean, it doesn't make what they're doing okay at all. But still, it's interesting to see that scene.
We have
Where she was coming from.
Yeah, we have just under 10 minutes left, so I want to quickly talk about Hannah and Caleb and then get into a little bit of that ending scene with Mona and the creepiness of that and where that leaves us. So let's talk about Hannah and Caleb. This was a very interesting couple because we saw happiness from them in the last couple weeks, and then we saw them really kind of struggle to get to happy again, which I think is actually a realistic place for marriage to be in your first year.
They say that first year is the hardest.
Yeah. And she wanted a baby, and we get that. And Caleb...
She's, like, sitting with her legs up.
Amazing.
I was like, okay.
But the thing is, as they're fighting, like, we didn't see a lot of love between them. We saw love, but we didn't see a lot of happiness between them. And I'm thinking, why is she trying to get pregnant this whole time?
But the first
whatever.
year,
Yeah, I know,
they
me too. I
say
was
the
like-
first year is the hardest in marriage, and she's probably just trying to get pregnant because she wants to have a kid.
Like
you
her
know?
friends.
And she's not thinking, like, her
I-
friends just had babies not too long ago. She's not thinking, like, oh, this isn't going to work out. She's thinking, oh, once we have the baby, it'll be fine.
And I love Caleb, but I feel like they, out of all the couples, are like the least happy. Like they're always always kind of upset and kind of like snarky to each
But
other. And,
that's
like,
so
Hannah,
realistic.
like I'm gonna help you out. Well, I don't need your help. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's always just like kind of like just like this, and then they're
She
like,
wants
oh,
to be
okay, I like you.
independent.
They're the most realistic couple.
And they're like, oh, okay, I like you, and then they're close for a second, and then they get upset at each other again. And so I feel like, yeah, I was like, okay, they're upset again. Okay, we can get through this, whatever. But I was just like, come on, like at the end there, like let's be happy. And I'm glad that it came to that.
But I liked that, like, final realism of, like, hey, they're kind of having problems, but it's not a big deal. Like, they're going to work through them and be happy. It's
Exactly.
like, you don't want to show perfect relationships always on television because then people are going to compare that to their real lives.
Well, I think that I was really happy with the way that the show ended for all of the girls. Like, you didn't have devastation. I was worried that there was going to be somebody who was going to be left devastated. Yeah. And I have to say I'm a fan of a happy ending, and maybe not everything is perfect for these girls, but they have hope that it's going in a direction. Alex gets put in jail. Like, there's
Mona jail.
Yeah, Mona jail, if you will.
I was going to say, hope doesn't breed eternal misery.
Yeah, right.
One thing is, though, whenever she does at the end say, well, I guess it's not Mona loser anymore, and she was, like, leaving, she's like, oh, you don't know the half of it. I wonder if, and she said, I called the cops. I wonder if those two were fake cops.
I think they
who,
were,
like, took them to France, because she said, I called the cops, and it's like, Mona would never call the cops.
And I was thinking about what we've been talking about the past couple weeks about Mona's redemption. And I feel like that moment where she said, well, I guess it's not loser Mona anymore, and Mona said, you don't know the half of it, was Mona's redemption. You know, it wasn't as full as we thought it was going to be, but I feel like for me, that was Mona's redemption.
But when she said it, she's like, I called the cops. Fake cops came in, grabbed the girls, took them to France or wherever the heck they were.
It was her own Mona's redemption, and I appreciate that.
I mean, she created her own version of a dollhouse. I mean, in so many ways.
Literally, and it was so funny because it was like an interrogation type of room, because, like, you know.
It was so great.
It was great.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely shows, and we talk about it on the show all the time, that Mona was always in support of these girls, and that's why I would have been heartbroken if it somehow circled back.
Oh, you guys, in the chat, Carmela, the fake cop showed up in Paris at Mona's shop, so we're gonna have to rewatch that. I don't know because I didn't recognize the cops, but
Oh my gosh! So it was a fake cop who was like.
She's like, come to my jail, guys.
So you think he know? I mean, it's just because he's like, are you gonna eat dinner with me? And she said, I'll be right up. I didn't think that he knew about her crazy life.
No,
but he
me
may
too,
know.
but maybe.
He may know
I
and be
would love
completely
to
fine with
see
it.
that.
But I think that's probably a better option than jail for Mary and
Alex. Because they get to have tea and sit in nice little dresses. I think I would like that spinoff more with Mona.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just about Mona. I'm just really happy that she didn't die because I thought for the longest time she was going to be AD or she was going to die.
For those that can't see, Becca is wearing a Camp Mona shirt.
I'm wearing a Camp Mona shirt.
Like a replica
Team
of like
Mona.
the cute Camp Mona.
Shout out to Janelle because
cute.
She's great.
Job.
Yeah. She's great.
But no, I thought she was going to die, and I'm glad that she got her redemption and she was on Hannah's side the whole time because I think from episode 1, even though Mona was A at first, that
she needed that.
Yeah, her friendship with Hannah was something and continued to be something special throughout all the seasons of Pretty Little Liars.
I agree.
And I liked that it continued and they ended on.
I feel like we don't even have like predictions. This is
there
happened before.
There are not predictions for the first time ever on Pretty Little Liars, and we can't talk about more theories, which is so crazy. I think
I'm gonna cry again.
This brings us to the end, and I just want to thank our panel. First of all, you guys have all been amazing all season, and like it's just I love coming in here and doing this with you on Tuesday nights, and I'm gonna miss it so much. I also just want to thank all the cast members who have come through here over the last 4 years that I've been a part of this show. We've had so many people stop in. It's been great. And of course, the whole team at AfterBuzz who makes this possible every week. Please continue to tweet AfterBuzz at AfterBuzz TV. You can find me at Stephanie Wenger. We love hearing from you, and we just appreciate everything that you guys do so much.
Yeah. I'm so grateful for this. I feel like I've made 4 new friends.
I know.
Like 5 new friends, counting Hannah and Heather and everybody else who was on this show before. You can continue to tweet me at Kristin_Strange and find me on Instagram at Kristin_Strange and at clothingendcocktails.com.
All right, you guys can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Mr. Dakota T. Jones.
And you guys can find me, Sam Davidson, at SamDavidsonEntertainment.com, Twitter and Instagram at SamD43. You know that I will be rewatching these probably starting tonight.
Will you please tweet me?
Tomorrow. I just want to give a shout out to Sheena123 in the chat. Said bring up the fact that Emily brought up Maya's name. Okay?
Yes. I loved that.
We did see a niece of Maya, so I thought that was cool. Went full circle. Seriously, though, tweet me anytime. I swear. In the next 10 years, I will still seriously be watching this show.
Yes, and Go Kai Green said that they tweeted you for a shout out. They like
me?
Yeah.
Was that Darren Chan?
It was a Go Kai Green.
Okay, green. Well, we want to shout out all of you.
All of you guys.
Everybody.
Yeah, who have been in the chat. And Becca, where can they find you?
Y'all can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Becca B Talks TV, and I started season 1, rewatching season 1 like last week.
Yeah, same here.
And
Me,
I have to give a
watch
shout out
it.
to Alicia Perez because you have the funniest memes that you tweet us
And then
every week.
Tennessee Hale.
Yes,
always
every
tweets
week.
us,
Yes.
yeah.
Amazing.
You have a great breakdown.
Yeah.
You've had the greatest people that have tweeted us
and
about this show.
without you guys, we really couldn't do this show every week. And
Our predictions come from you.
Yeah.
Dakota's going to drinking.
I'm like, I gotta.
Well, continue to watch all of the other. We have tons of after shows for other Freeform shows, and of course many other shows here at AfterBuzz. But we just thank you so much. So until we see you soon.
We love you. Bye.
Forever.
This one you'll say, better lock it in your pocket, taking this one to the grave. And if I show you that I know you won't tell what I said, 'cause two can keep a secret if one of them is dead.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.